Hello and welcome to the Ectohead channel. So, the telepathy tapes. What's it all about? Well, let me start with consciousness. Cutting edge science is delving into very strange areas. A lot of the programs that are being run in these fringe scientific realms are not officially sanctioned. They're being done in small rooms by groups of dedicated individuals who have, in their hearts, a burning curiosity. And I, for one, applaud that. And the areas that these intrepid individuals are looking at are really quite mind-blowing. One of the areas that's interested me is consciousness and the nature of consciousness. Traditionally speaking, we're being told that consciousness resides in the brain. The brain is everything, and yet the further we look into it, the more we get the distinct impression that, in fact, the brain is nothing more than a receiver. I say nothing more than a receiver, but there's no doubt I have to point out that the brain might not be the work of art we originally thought it was. Dr. Diane Hennessy, a one-time Harvard lecturer, started to become interested in this subject because she became aware of the fact that there were children out there who were imparting knowledge that they couldn't have possibly learned. They were just too young. So the subject of autistic savants came clearly on her radar. And it led her down a rabbit hole which expanded her views much more than anyone could have thought. She has a wonderful way about her, a very level-headed, calm approach, which gives you the distinct impression not much gets past her. And as such, she's exactly the kind of individual you want investigating these fringe topics. And so behind me you see the YouTube channel, The Telepathy Tapes. And as far as I understand it, and I've watched a few, these are children, autistic children, who have profound communication problems and live a secret life in plain view, which we, normal human beings, find their actions and behaviours almost impenetrable. We don't see the things they do, we don't feel the things that they feel, and we don't speak the languages that they speak. In their apparent disability of autism, they have in fact developed other skills, other senses. I'm not going to go and delve into the telepathy tapes now. That's what the YouTube channel is for, and I recommend, I urge you to go and start watching these tapes yourselves. They are fascinating. The reason I've used it as an example here today is because it goes directly to the heart, in my opinion, of what consciousness actually is. If the brain is indeed just the receiver, then why would it be any different for these autistic children? These autistic children have developed other skills, chief of which is the acquisition of knowledge from elsewhere. This is nothing that they've been taught. They've snatched this information from who knows where. We've started to communicate with these kids using very rudimentary means like spelling boards, and we found out all kinds of interesting and incredible things. These children have get-togethers with other autistic children. They come together in some place called the Hill. They gather there and they hang out. And when they're asked questions about the future or individuals that they can't possibly know, they have answers. They see the future. They're prophetic. They can warn and they can advise. And when they're asked how they know this information, they say, I see it in front of me. What does that mean? And this brings me to another individual of great repute within the field of remote viewing. And this chap is called Ingo Swann. Now, many of you will already be familiar with the name. Remote viewing is the art of being able to look at individuals and locations many miles from your physical location. Effectively, you can project your eyes across the planet. More than that even. You can go, as Ingo Swann said, any place in time and space. So let's consider this for a moment. All moments in time and space are connected. It explains a lot. It means that if you have the prerequisite abilities, you can literally thumb through the ether and pick out the information you want. More incredibly, you're interfacing directly with this nebulous ether. Edgar Cayce used to call it the Akashic Record. some kind of self-sentient library, which certain beings who, as I say, have the abilities can just tap into. Everything that has ever happened and everything that ever will happen resides there. And if you believe many remote viewers, we can all do it. I've yet to try. Frankly, my brain is like a squirrel on a hamster wheel, which is on fire, rolling down a hill into lava. And so at this point in my life, it's not something I feel I can do justice to. So what is it exactly that these people are tapping into? I've said already that I call it the ether. Edgar Cayce called it the Akashic Records, and I use the term ether because it's been used before. Most notably, I think, by Nikola Tesla. It's my belief that this ether is also energy, and it does have a mind and possibly even a will of its own. We talk often, especially in areas of investigation like Skinwalker Ranch, of the Trickster, how this individual or energy or force has the ability to confound and be always 10 steps ahead of anyone in trying to investigate. And I do wonder to myself if other UFO experiences are actually somehow plugged directly into the ether also. Why are there so many different types of alien? Some of them frankly absurd, comical even. The story of Sam the Sounddown Clown being chief among them. What if the alien craft that they fly around in are in actual fact, on their end, static rooms, places where they go to remote view? Maybe they're portals. Maybe interstellar travel isn't a thing. Maybe it's actually all dimensional. That also would explain quite a bit. Travel the galaxy from the comfort of your living room. And to make matters even more confusing, we get people who meditate. Those people who are well versed in the practice often state that they have paranormal-like things happen around them. Is meditation somehow plugging them into the ether? It's incredible to consider that we are literally this close to being able to plug into something so incredible, and yet it remains as far away and as elusive as planetary travel to the majority of us. Does meditation provide us with the tools to do what remote viewers and autistic savants do? Can we, via meditation, be telepathic? Can we travel the intergalactic highway? Can we surf the ether and dip in for knowledge, as and when we like? Or is this all some tree-hugging hippie crap, some mumbo-jumbo? And in fact, the skeptics are right. There is no such thing. Wouldn't that be a rather dull world? No. For me, I rather think that this is a thing. I think it's true. I think it's real. I think that these children, these autistic children, are in fact glorious. And I think it's about time that we stopped calling autistic children disabled. We stopped calling children with Downs disabled. And in fact start looking at them as repositories that we can learn from. And in the learning, maybe it will bring us closer to the ether and to our hopes and dreams as a species. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, bye-bye.